Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
This episode is brought to you by NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. There's plenty to be thankful for. Your friends, family, and the fact that you can now get NFL Sunday Ticket for only $89. So thank yourself this holiday season and watch every game every Sunday when you bundle NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Sign up now at youtube.com/Sunday Ticket. Offer ends December 2nd. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Hello and welcome to ZPG Ice Maidens, the only dedicated Women's National Ice Hockey League podcast.
Part of the ZPG network of UK ice hockey podcasts.
We're in partnership with
the Hockey Arca, hockey clothing for hockey people.
Worn by the best
and hated by the rest.
Listen to the ZPG network.
Get a 10% discount on everything
at hockeyartclothing.co.uk.
Just enter the code ZP10 on checkout to get your discount.
We're also part of the Sports Social Podcast Network,
the biggest sports podcast network in Europe.
Boasting over 450 podcasts
for more than 15 different sports.
Hello and welcome to our latest episode on ZPG Ice Maidens. We have a lot to get through again this week, with 17 games scheduled to have taken place across last weekend. However, Storm Burt put pay to Solway's game with Caledonia after the roads leading in and out of Dumfries were snowed in, and the game between Telford and Leeds also had to be called off. But the rest all went ahead. So, without further delay, let's hear how they all played out. And that means starting in the Elite League, and an extremely short bench Kingston Diamonds side travelled down to Streatham last Saturday, without their entire top line of Kiana Tate and GB internationals Katie Marsden and Lizzie Saunders, while top youngsters Lydia Lutwich and Mia Forbes were also unable to travel. Despite that, the Diamonds battled hard throughout. However, the Storm took the lead a couple of minutes in, thanks to Angela Taylor, who scored from Savannah Johnson. The South London side then doubled their lead early into the second period, when Zuzana Dobrovolna scored from Taylor. But the Diamonds narrowed the deficit 4 minutes into the final period, when Katie Payton converted on the power play for her first Diamonds goal. Very well done, Katie, from all of us here at ZPG Ice Maidens. B. Lester got the assist on the goal. Georgia Ashton made 45 saves and was kept busy throughout. She kept Kingston in the game after the Storm fired 20 shots at her in the opening session alone. Zuzana Dobrovolna was Streatham's player of the game. The Whitley Bay Beacons suffered defeat to the reigning champion Queen Bees for a second successive weekend last Saturday, but put in a performance that they can be proud of. They went into the game with a massively short bench due to a winter storm which hit the area prior to the game. Caitlin Morrison's flight couldn't land after Newcastle Airport was closed, so she was forced to return home to Belfast, while several others were literally snowed in from Scotland and were unable to travel. That left the team with just 9 skaters, 4 defenders and 5 forwards. Whitley started with Danielle Turnbull alongside Steph Towns and Abby Coulshaw, with Ruby Newlands and Amanda McWilliams rotating in. Caitlin Stocks partnered Vicky Smith with Heidi Dunn alongside Jade Cito, while goalie Sam Bolwell did remarkably well to declare herself fit just 7 days after sustaining a groin injury down in Slough. The Queen Bees had travelled with just 2 players more than the Beacons, with just 3 recognised defenders and the likes of Rachel Cartwright, Abby Sylvester, Ellie Wakelin and Hannah Byram all unavailable. It meant a radical change to their lineup as well. Youngsters Ellie Shaw and Miley Drazy were partnered together, with Lily Endicott tasked with moving back to the blue line alongside Charlotte Edgar. However, it was a role she is used to, having played there for GB under-18s previously. Estelle Ipps entered the top line with Isabelle Bennett and Catherine Gale alongside her. Ellie Wallace and Millie Georgie lined up with Talia Davidson-Wright, with Yuk Ting Lau rotating in. Mackenzie McNamara started in goal. The visitors didn't need much time to take control of the game, scoring after just 4 minutes. Catherine Gale did well to enter the zone at pace, causing the Beacons problems. Estelle Ip then made a play from behind the net to pick out Isabelle Bennett in the high slot for her to fire home the opener. The same trio combined for the Queen Bees' second goal. Isabelle Bennett entered the zone and unleashed a fierce drive on the net. The puck was eventually gathered by Estelle Ip behind the net, but having lost her stick, the Hong Kong international played the puck back with her foot to pick out Catherine Gale at the high slot to fire into a top corner on the glove side. With a 2-goal deficit, Whitley had to do something if they were to salvage the game. Coach Steph Towns opted to switch Caitlin Stocks from defence into a forward position on a line with Ruby Newlands and Danielle Turnbull. The move worked to perfection as the game reached its midpoint. A smart stretch pass out of the zone by Vicky Smith found Ruby Newlands racing down the right wing. After going forehand to backhand, she picked out Caitlin Stocks at the back post to stab home and make it a 1-goal game. 3 minutes later and the Beacons were back level. Abby Coulshaw worked hard down the left wing boards to force a turnover. Having now gained control of the puck, she fired across the face of goal and into a top corner on the glove side from an almost impossible angle. But the Queen Bees ensured they would take something of an advantage with them into the final period. Miley Drazy forced a turnover before feeding Ellie Wallace, who, having gone close a couple of times earlier on that shift, cut in from the left and advanced down the slot before putting the puck up high to restore the lead. The Queen Bees would have their 2-goal lead back just 35 seconds into the final period. Estelle Ip worked hard along the boards before Isabelle Bennett carried towards the net and picked out Catherine Gale. The GB international cut across Sam Bolwell and put home her own rebound after an initial shot was saved by the pads. The visitors would score again soon after, when Ellie Wallace's persistence saw her advance down the slot and ride 3 Beacons challenges before she had time to pick her spot and put the puck into the roof of the net. Whitley then called a timeout to give them a chance to regroup with over 30 minutes remaining in the game. Some positive play on the top line from Amanda McWilliams saw the Beacons continue looking for a way back into the game. However, Catherine Gale notched her hat-trick marker with almost 9 minutes still to play when she raced up the ice on a fast breakout, split the defence and went top shelf glove side. It confirmed the Queen Bees' 6-2 win, and once again the Beacons came away having put in a strong performance against a good side. Individually, Steph Towns never stopped trying to drive her side forward, while player of the game Amanda McWilliams seemed to thrive playing alongside her coach and her captain, Abby Coulshaw. Lily Endicott was a class act patrolling the puck from the blue line, while her fellow defenders Ellie Shaw, Miley Drazy and Charlotte Edgar made it difficult for the Beacons all game with some intelligent defensive plays. Ellie Wallace was unstoppable, Catherine Gale prolific and Estelle Ip inventive, while Isabelle Bennett came away with a very well-deserved Player of the Game award. And after the game, I caught up with Isabelle, where she had this to say. Welcome to Ice Maidens, where today I'm catching up with Queen Bee's Player of the Game, Isabelle Bennett. So first of all, Isabelle, thank you very much for joining me. Well, that was a good win for the Queen Bees in the end, 6-2. What was your thoughts on it?
Considering we had a really short bench, I thought it was really good that we came out hard and that we obviously got the win. I didn't think we didn't think it was going to be an easy game, but yeah.
Yeah, always difficult as well when the two sides played last week, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that was quite a close game as well. So was you expecting it to be difficult today as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We all knew, and obviously, like I said, with having a short bench and we have like missing players, we definitely knew it was going to be tough. But yeah. Yeah,
you mentioned that about being short bench. There's pretty big names missing, the likes of Rachel Cartwright, Abby Sylvester, Ellie Waitland, to name just 3. But with that allowed you to play on the top line. So you must have enjoyed being out there.
Yeah. It was. I thought we worked really well. Obviously, I got 2 assists with Catherine's goals. But yeah, no, I thought it worked really well. And that we had we were in their zone quite a lot, kind of passing it around, and I thought it was good.
Yeah, you're right. It did work very well, and very modest there, talking about the 2 assists. But of course, you got the opening goal for your team.
Yeah, I think that gave us a really good head start because it was quite early on. I think.
Yeah, 2-0 at the end of the first period. Beacons managed to get themselves back level, but then Ellie Wallace getting that goal right at the end of the second period. But, that was quite tight in that second period, wasn't it?
Yeah, obviously Ellie's goal really gave us a boost. And then, obviously, in the third, we managed to bag some.
Yeah, it was an ice cut between the second and third, and obviously Beacons being short benched as well. We're hoping that might give them a chance to rest some tired legs, but it was actually Queen Bees who came out stronger in that final period.
Yeah. I thought that final period was really good, and we just had to get through it. Obviously, we were all really tired, but I think the ice cut really helped as well. Gave us a bit of a boost. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you play for the Fire Bees as well, and you're in action tomorrow away at Cardiff. So, how's that been going for you this season?
Fire Bees has been really good. Obviously they have a game against Swindon at the moment. Obviously I couldn't be there. But no, Fire Bees is really good. I think we've got a good thing going, and hopefully we can make playoffs.
Well, best of luck with that. Hope to see you there for that. I'm sure you'll certainly be there with Queen Bees. And next weekend, the big one against Solihull. So that's, after losing the first game, I guess you want to try and get back level,
definitely.
don't you?
We definitely want to try and get that back, because obviously that is who we're competing with this season.
It certainly is. Well, thank you very much, Isabelle, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
On now to Division 1 North, where Solway saw their home game postponed against Caledonia thanks to Storm Bert. The snow cleared up just in time to allow them to travel to Sheffield on the Sunday, with the game turning into a real nail-biter. In an end-to-end action-packed game, Solway snatched a valuable point from Sheffield away from home. Period 1 ended 0-0 with some big saves from both goalies. Solway's Lizzie Meikle facing 21 shots and Sheffield's Jess Kinghorn 10. Period 2 saw the Shadows break the deadlock first through Alicia Potts, Hazel Wilson and Caitlin Stocks collecting the assists. That soon became 2-0 after Isabelle Wright converted on a power play 5 minutes later, Robin Wilson-Barrett getting the assist. But Solway cut the deficit with 2 seconds left in the session, Molly Walker bagging her first Division 1 goal off a pass from Amanda Murdoch. Solway kept up the pressure in the third period, but the Shadows extended their lead early in, with Isabelle Wright netting for the second time. Chloe Carter and Hazel Wilson registering the assists. The Sharks made their final attack with 5 minutes to go in the game. An unassisted goal from Megan Walker made it 3-2, and in the final 30 seconds, Michelle Croucher levelled to make it 3-3, skating end-to-end and burying the puck top corner to earn her a Player of the Game award. Once again, well done to Molly Walker on her first goal, while Cassie McGregor was awarded the coveted Sharks hat. Cassie sustained an injury during the game, but showed grit and determination to keep going. Matilda King was Sheffield's Player of the Game. Another great performance from the Kingston Diamonds saw them beat Nottingham Vipers 8-1 away last weekend. Despite a long delay to face off and a late night, it proved to be a great result as the Hull-based side stay unbeaten. Kiana Tate netted a hat-trick, with Mia Forbes and Ruby Newlands both scoring twice. Millie Fulbourn also found the net, with goalie Emily Johnson making 24 saves to also maintain her winning record. In Division 1 South, the Firebees met Swindon in Slough, with both sides left short benched due to the Queen Bees game in Whitley Bay, which was also taking place on Saturday. Katie Reid gave Swindon the lead at 26:52 when she put home Joy Scott Russell's pass, but the Firebees turned that around in a 5-minute spell midway through the final period, Izzy Eggington netting twice to spot her team a 2-1 lead. But 40 seconds later, Swindon were back level when Phoebe Dodd scored on a power play from Leah Wallace as both sides shared the points. Phoebe Dodd was named Swindon's Player of the Game. Ida Oxenen made 25 saves for the Firebees, with Marley Easton saving 44 shots. The following day, Swindon were in action again when they took on the Chelmsford Cobras. While for Chelmsford, they were on the road again on Sunday for what was their second game of the season against the Top Cats. The Cobras took to the ice prepared to battle for a repeat performance of their first meeting earlier in November, while Swindon entered the first period determined to start the scoring on their home ice and netted a goal just over 2 minutes after puck drop, Ellie Wallace scoring from Lily Endicott. Cobras worked hard to shut them down defensively for the remainder of that period, and it ended 1-0 in Swindon's favour. The second period saw the Top Cats increase the offensive pressure on the Cobras and struck twice more early on. Katie Reid grabbed the first from Emma Comer before Lily Endicott netted from Ellie Wallace 40 seconds later. Down 3-0, Cobras tried to change the flow of the game, drawing a penalty and capitalising on the power play to get themselves on the scoreboard. Zara Schott scoring from former Swindon defender Zara Berwick. Top Cats responded within a couple of minutes by netting another and restoring their 3-goal lead. Ellie Wallace putting home from Miley Drazy. Heading into the third, down 4-1, Cobras never gave up and continued to try and find a way to bring the score back. But the Top Cats found the net twice more. Natalia Rolden-Merck grabbed the first from Ellie Wallace before the GB international set up Lily Endicott for her 4th point of the game 40 seconds later. Chelmsford scored their second of the game with 10 minutes to go when Charmaine Easton found the net from Brittany Stoneman and Zara Berwick to make it 6-2. It may have been a tough loss for the Cobras, but it proved to be a great battle, and the Essex club look forward to meeting the Top Cats again in the new year. Katie Reid was Swindon's player of the game, with Chelmsford's award going to Charmaine Easton. Swindon goalie Marley Easton made 21 saves, with her Guildford Lightning teammate Kira Waddington making 36. The youngster faced 20 shots in the opening period as the Top Cats laid siege to the Cobras' goal. There was a huge win for the Cardiff Comets on home ice last Sunday as they beat the Firebees 3-1. Leah Cannon fired the Comets ahead 4 minutes into the second period, with Liv Taylor and Maddie Davis collecting the assists. Liv and Leah combined again 4 minutes later to make it 2-0, with the former getting the goal. Leah would get her second of the game towards the end of the session. It was her 3rd point of the game and meant she had a hand in all 3 of her side's goals. Isabelle Bennett did get one back for the Firebees before the period was over. Steph Wei-Ying-Yu with the assist. Former Comets goalie Mackenzie McNamara faced 38 shots in the Firebees net, with Becca Egerstrom making 20 saves at the other end. The game witnessed a fiery ending, though, when there was a scrap during the post-game handshakes. Josie Clark-Payet was given a 2+5 for fighting, along with a game misconduct. Izzy Eggington was also called for 5+ game for fighting. However, she wasn't on the ice at the time, so I would imagine the club will try and get that one overturned. But it was a great team effort for the Comets as they clinched their first win of the season. Bristol Huskies are the only team now in Division 1 South with a 100% record after they beat Milton Keynes Falcons 3-0 away last weekend. Young defender Emily Benson scored late in the first period to give the Huskies the lead. Katie Edgington, who assisted on that play, scored 3 minutes into a middle session to double the advantage, before Molly Lehman scored inside the final 6 minutes of the period to complete the 3-goal victory. Goalie Gemma Davis made 21 saves for the Huskies on her way to a shutout, while at the other end, Kaylee Doyle made 38 saves. In Division 2 North, Telford and Leeds was postponed, so we head straight over to Hull, where there was a superb second win of the season for the Diamonds, which sees them towards the top of the table. Captain Ketz Robinson scored 4 times, with Izzy Oswin netting twice. Kerry Greaves and Nevaeh Alsop also scored, while Ash Clark netted her first Diamonds goal. A very well done, Ash, from all of us here at ZPG Ice Maidens. Kingston spotted themselves a 2-0 lead after the first period, but a strong show from the Steel Queens saw the sides tied at 3 by the end of the middle session. Kingston quickly took control in the third period, taking the game out of the Steel Queens' reach. Emily Johnson and Sienna Bugg shared the time between the pipes to backstop the Diamonds to back-to-back wins. Nikki Robertson was Caledonia's player of the game as she opened her scoring account in the WNIHL with a lovely finish, as well as playing an all-around game. Queen's Jester went to Emily Camphouse with a 2-goal performance, while Chloe Young scored the other goal for the Queens. The Diamonds were able to stream the game with their new commentary team, which included elite forward Danny Newlove, and the likeable Danny instantly became a hit with some of her one-liners, which included "It's better than silence" when mentioning the commentary. Having listened into the feed, I think she does herself a great disservice, to be fair. Keep at it, Danny. It's great to have more commentary on streams around the league, and even more importantly, it's great to hear female players getting involved too. After the game, Kerry Greaves and Ash Clark spoke to the club.
We're here with player of the game, Kerry Greaves, and Ash Clark, who got a first goal of the game. Congratulations, Ash, on your goal.
Thank you. It was a lovely chip in from your rebound.
So how did you think the game went today?
We took a while to sort of get into it, I think.
The first period went quite well. The second one, we let it slip, then we managed to chase it back in the third.
Took us a while, didn't it?
Yeah.
We got there in the end.
We got there.
Yeah.
So, and we've got another game next week.
Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds at home, I think.
Is there anything you're going to change for that game, or are you just going to go with the same mentality?
Well, Leeds are obviously very, very good team, so I think we're going to make sure to put our best players first.
Really hard.
It's going to be a tough game.
Okay, right. Well, thank you very much. Go and celebrate the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Whitley Bay Beacons narrowly lost out to a strong Widnes Wild side on Sunday in what was an entertaining game of hockey. Despite being without top scorer Emily Duffy for this one, the Beacons soon took the lead at 9:41 when Brooke Royce and Iona Harrison set up captain Joy Hurst for the opening goal. Iona, who has been a goal-scoring machine since making her Beacons debut 3 seasons ago, continued her great set-up play when she picked out Joy again 5 minutes later to double her side's advantage. Former Whitley Bay forward Katie Fairclough was called for slashing early into the second period, but having killed off that penalty, Widnes got a goal back soon after when Gemma Brown cut the arrears. The third period was just 34 seconds old when Iona Harrison picked out Joy Hurst for the third time in the game, and the Beacons captain notched a hat-trick marker in fine style. But just over a minute later, Widnes made it a 1-goal game once more, Charlotte Cramp continuing her great form against Whitley as she put home a feed by another former Beacons player, Sav Sumner. Moments later, and the Wild were level, Phoebe Patient firing home from the slot to make it 3-3. But all that hard work for Widnes was very nearly undone when Fairclough was assessed a 5+ game penalty for what was a vicious slash on Iona Harrison. Credit should go to the Whitley forward for not reacting, as it gave the Beacons a 5-minute power play. However, they were unable to score against a strong Wild penalty kill and some inspired saves from goalie Stephanie Drinkwater. If anything, that penalty galvanised the Wild, with them taking a first lead of the game soon after, when they netted twice in just 27 seconds. The top line of Linda Decker, Charlotte Cramp and Jenny Hickey combining to great effect, with the Belgian forward finding the net on the first goal before she set up Cramp for her second of the game for the second. Whitley hit back moments later with Canadian youngster Claire Wilson reducing the deficit from defender Alex Browell's assist. Claire netted again 4 minutes later for what looked like being a late equaliser for the Beacons. However, De Decker grabbed her second of the game 17 seconds later to clinch the win with a little over 2 minutes remaining. The result may not have gone the Beacons' way, but it was an entertaining 60 minutes of hockey all the same. We move on now to Division 2 South B, where Invicta Dynamics recorded a 3-1 win away to Lee Valley last weekend. Lee Valley put in a very strong opening period, as has been the case in most of their games this season. But Invicta's Robin Mapp scored just after the 10-minute mark to give the Gillingham-based side the lead, with Charlotte Davenport-Jeffrey providing the assist. The latter then gave the Dynamics a 2-goal lead with less than 6 minutes remaining in the second period, with what was a fantastic finish after the puck hit the top bar, then the back bar, before coming down into the net. It was a much improved second period performance from the Vampires, but they were unable to get the puck in the net that their play perhaps deserved. However, 28 seconds after the Dynamics spotted themselves a 2-goal lead, the Vampires pulled one back when their top line came together nicely, Xian Jiang scoring from Lauren Furinger to give the North London side everything to play for in the final period. During that final session, the Vampires were getting caught on long shifts, so coach Tom Parker changed his lines around to make sure the Vampires' top line matched up against that of the Dynamics. But with 3 minutes to go, the Dynamics scored again to make the game safe, Kirsty Horan netting from Tammy Phipps and Davenport Jeffrey, who had a hand in all 3 of her team's goals as she once again demonstrated her incredible ability. Credit to Vampires goalie Abby Owen, who made 43 saves during the game and did a lot to keep her team in the contest, but also to the team as a whole, who put in a much improved performance. Speaking to head coach Tom Parker during the week, he said that his players reacted positively to the changes he had implemented ahead of the game, with special focus given to improving their mindset for the second period. He felt his plan had worked out, with the Vampires putting in a fantastic performance against great opponents in Invicta, which in turn created a great game to watch. Lee Valley are perhaps the one side that have the furthest to go in terms of development this season. The side was put together with a lot of players coming in from Stretton's development team, and therefore have never really had the opportunity to gain league experience before now, due to the sheer weight of numbers the South London club have had. It's a work in progress for sure, but given Tom's expert coaching ability, it will only be a matter of time before he has the Vampires as serious contenders. We move now on to the Cup and South Group 2, where the Haringey Greyhounds took the early bragging rights in a first ever London derby against Streatham Storm. The win against the South London side from the league above is a statement of intent, with them surely one of the favourites now to earn promotion to Tier 3 at the end of the season. Miri Pomeranz gave the North London side the lead 3 minutes in, when she got on the end of an assist from Yami Manchanda Corliss. But 2 minutes later, Streatham were back level, when Finnish player Sara Lahti continued her good goal-scoring streak, with Hayley Schultz getting the assist. Haringey were back ahead later in the period, when Clementine Chandler put home Yami Manchanda Corliss's feed on the power play. But once again, the Storm hit back a couple of minutes later to ensure the two sides would be level going into the first break. Sara Lahti had a hand in it again as she combined with Francesca Thorogood to set up Helen Clark for the equalising goal. Streatham began to assert their experience when Olive Broadbank gave them a first lead of the game around the midpoint, before Irish international Sinead Jennings set up Hayley Schultz to make it a 2-goal advantage with just seconds left in the middle session. However, and crucially, straight from the face-off and with just 4 seconds left on the clock, Haringey pulled one back, captain Hannah Dolan-Davis setting up Jade Jones. Jones would take over the game in the third. She would score again 97 seconds after a break to tie the game up, before supplying Tegan Walsh 5 minutes later to give the Greyhounds a lead once again. Both sides exchanged chances over the next 10 minutes or so, but neither could add to their tally. That was until Clementine Chandler found the net inside the final 3 minutes. Sara Lahti pulled one back for Streatham with less than 90 seconds remaining to what was a tense finale. But Jade Jones completed her hat-trick in the final minute to make the game safe for the Greyhounds and record an historic first win over their London rivals. Streatham goalie Juliana Codini faced 29 shots on what was her final appearance for the club before she heads off back home to Canada, while Haringey's Courtney Berg faced 40 shots. In Cup Group 1, Cambridge Kodiaks got their campaign off to a strong start with a 7-3 win over Coventry Phoenix. The West Midlands club were missing some of their top players, but put in a great display, all things considered, against arguably the top side in Division 2 right now. An unassisted Alicia Anderson goal got the Kodiaks off the mark at 2:16 with a tight angled shot, before Finnish forward Sarah Carvenan doubled the lead a couple of minutes later, assists going to Christina Ashley and Josie Milton. Coventry pulled one back early into the 6th minute through Sophie Gallen when she finished Nancy Baker's assist, before Julia Mabry pounced on a turnover to restore the 2-goal lead at 12:14. The Kodiaks started the second period on the power play, as the Phoenix's Nikki Blower sat for roughing. It only took 19 seconds to get a fourth as Anderson rifled a wrist shot past Ellen Jo Cole in the Coventry net, the assists going to Carvenan and Ashley. Josie Milton then got on the scoreboard with a well-worked goal before Gallen picked up a rebound for Coventry's second. Baker again getting the assist. Cambridge got their 6th goal to close the period out as Ellie Goldstone set up Julia Mabry for her second of the evening. The third period was a quieter affair, but the Kodiaks scored their best worked goal of the evening. With Coventry sitting for too many players on the ice, the Cambridge power play went to work and eventually Christina Ashley was found wide open by Mabry and Anderson to wrap up the Kodiak scoring. Coventry got another goal through Nancy Baker, but Cambridge closed the game out on what was another power play. Julia Mabry picked up the Cambridge Player of the Game for a trademark energy-filled performance. In the Under-16s League, Bristol Puppies beat Haringey Greyhounds 5-1 on the road. Ayla White was Player of the Game, with Evie Hunt the Spirit of the Game, while Chelmsford Rattlesnakes came away from Slough with a 6-1 road win of their own against the Ice Bees. Amelia Strachan-Jones scored the Ice Bees' only goal and was named Spirit of the Game, while Daisy Duval was the team's Player of the Game. As always, we sign off with having a look at this weekend's fixtures, and it's another big weekend this week with 12 games scheduled to take place. Queen Bees are at home to Solihull at 1:10 on Saturday to begin the weekend. It will be the second meeting of the season between the two title protagonists, with the West Midlands club still yet to drop any points. Elsewhere in the Elite League, Guildford host Kingston at 6:35 on Sunday evening, with Streatham at home to Whitley Bay 10 minutes later. The game between the Storm and the Beacons should be streamed on the Beacons YouTube channel. There are no games in Division 1 North this weekend, but in the South, Chelmsford host Cardiff at 6:30 on Saturday evening, with Swindon hosting Milton Keynes Falcons at 1 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, and Bristol at home to Firebees at 6 p.m. later that evening. In Division 2 North, Kingston should be streaming their game at home to Leeds on Sunday, with another chance to hear the dulcet tones of Danny Newlove. That one has a 12:30 p.m. face-off and will be on the club's YouTube channel. Further details should be on the team's Facebook page. While in the South, Peterborough hosts Slough Sirens at 6:30 on Saturday evening in what has become a must-win game for the Phantoms. In Division 2 South B, Coventry visit Bristol at 4 p.m. on Sunday, with the Phoenix at home to Cambridge the previous day in a quick return cup meeting. That game starts at the Sky Dome at 6:40 on Saturday night. The only other cup game this week sees Solent Amazons at home to Lee Valley Vampires at 6 p.m. on Sunday, while in the Under-16s League, Milton Keynes are at home to Haringey Greyhounds at 4:20 the same day. That's all for this week then. Thank you all for listening. Bye for now.
Please make sure you're following us across all social media platforms
to keep you fully up to date with all things WNIHL.
On Facebook,
follow Ice Maidens, the voice of women's ice hockey,
and check out the website at icemaidens.wordpress.com.
On Instagram and on Twitter.
You can find the podcast
at ZPG Ice Maidens.
And for YouTube,
you can subscribe to Zero Pucks Given.
Please like, follow, share and subscribe.
It all does wonders for spreading the good word
of the ZPG network.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.